It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
Drop chance for the war flag. We don't know. We don't have the drop chance for the war flag. So let's talk about this war flag a little bit. How best to counter this war flag of Frost. How best to counter it? All right, so I wrote a blog post today. The new best flag. How does the war flag of Frost work? I was able to test, and I discovered through testing with Anvari, I discovered that the war flag does not reduce damage. Now, why would it reduce damage? This is why. You can see that a skill, the damage of a skill is based on the skill's level. Level times 80 plus 1600. If the war flag reduces a skill's level by 2, you would think that it would reduce the damage of the skill. Apparently it does not. I did several attacks with Anvari. Every time he uses a blue ability, it was 11,023 damage every time. And then I tried it with the War Flag of Frost. It was the same damage. All right. So as far as we know, the War Flag of Frost, the only thing that this thing does is makes it so that the control abilities of some heroes has a 33% chance to miss. All right. A bunch of people sent me screenshots of control abilities, but the abilities got to say specifically on there, chance to stun is lowered if the target's level is below a number, right? Now, why is this important? Well, there are a lot of heroes whose control abilities are not modified by level. For example, number 1 stunner, Arachne, her stuns are not modified by level. Stunning nearby enemies. Neither of these two abilities are based on skill level. Okay, so Arachne is completely unaffected by the War Flag of Frost. Another very popular hero that a lot of people use is Lara Croft. Lara Croft's steady shots, area of effect stun, is not affected by level. A level 1 steady shot will 100% of the time stun the enemy team. A level 1 cannot miss. It can be stopped with Sebastian or Chorus, sure. It can be removed with Celeste or Nebula, sure. But it cannot be stopped. It will never miss. Level 1 will never miss. So if you have a hero on your team who has a control ability, let's take a look at Faceless. Okay, Faceless's power throw. Chance to stun is lowered if the target's level is above 130. If it has that line, it's going to be bad if you're attacking into the War Flag of Frost, right? My issue is this isn't that many heroes. Very popular heroes, unfortunately, yes. Heroes like Gus, they don't actually have a control ability, but Gus is often paired with Orion, right? So, for example, in the Gus Orion teams, the stun and the slow are impacted by level. So, some teams it will help against, some teams it won't really matter against. The Qingmao Blender team that a lot of people are using, Qingmao, her blind, is impacted by level. So I like this flag. I am pro this flag. I really, really like this flag on defense. I will be using this flag on defense. I believe it to be more impactful than 10% reduced healing, which is what I had been using. I believe it to be more impactful than warriors attacking slightly faster. I believe it to be more impactful, the pet team ability being 10% more powerful. And I believe it to be more impactful than 10% energy gain because a lot of people don't use tanks. And I don't always use tanks. I barely use tanks. Ode of Serenity. Wait a second. Am I looking at this thing backwards? Chance to protect from a debuff is lowered. Wait a second. I didn't even think about this, Poly T. Chance to protect from a debuff is lowered. So this is kind of a soft counter to Sebastian? Interesting. This is actually huge to me. This means that I can do a control team on defense, and Sebastian has a 33% chance to not protect against a debuff. Flag acts like Polaris, also acts like Biscuit a little bit too. Polaris lowers skill levels, and using Polaris for Sebastian makes his shield fail to block sometimes. Flag is still almost completely useless. All the others are better except the Warrior. CCG, I disagree. I think it's my new go-to flag. Like for real, I think it's my new go-to flag. A 33% chance to miss a control ability, or a 33% chance for Sebastian to not remove a control ability. The Northern Lights also decreases the level of enemy skills that have a chance of activating by 10. Lowering by 10. I only have to 9. Wait a second. That's like a That's like a 66% chance of reduction. Have I been sleeping on Polaris? This is the math. This is the math for the skills. Here's the formula. The chance to be amazing is unpredictable. So what I really like about this, guys, what I really like about this is this game is boring. Okay? This game is boring. It's so boring because defense does not exist. Defense does not exist in this game. No matter what team you put on defense, it can be beaten. It can easily be beaten. The reason why Orion Augustus is so good is because of the random chance. Variance. Chance to win. No, I'm sorry, Dante. The reason why Dante is so good. Not Orion and Gus. Sorry, misspoke there. Having Dante, Heidi, dodge heroes, critical heroes, adds random chance to win or lose. Even if you think you have a 100% win rate against the team, there's a chance that you won't win. I think this War Flag of Frost is incredible. I think it's incredible. But if you use heroes that don't have any of those skills, right? This one does. No, it doesn't. If you use abilities like Aurora that doesn't have any of those skills, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Reason I say the Frost Flag is bad is because it affects an extremely tiny number of heroes. Warrior's Flag is the same problem. Yeah. I don't disagree with you there. I don't. I just think that the other ones also have a similar problem. Like the heal flag doesn't really work against blender teams. You know, the tank flag doesn't really work if you're not using a tank. Like I think you can make that argument for all of them. Okay, patterns. Let's talk about patterns. Sure, let's talk about patterns. I think it's really going to depend. The assumption, I guess, is you go about this two ways. You can use a heavy control team because you're trying to use the flag to counter Sebastian, right? And if that's the case, if you're using a heavy control team, I think that you go with armor, magic defense, maybe armor, magic defense, magic attack, maybe armor, magic defense, dodge, like a really, really defensive control line wouldn't be a bad idea. If you're using the War Flag of Frost to stall against control teams, maybe you use, gosh, I don't know. I mean, really, it depends on your team. I don't think the tank flag still has the strongest effect, assuming there is a tank. Yeah, magic attack, magic defense, and armor. Yeah, I think going defensive. Like if you're trying to be a control team, you go really defensive. If you're trying to counter control teams, you still kind of want magic defense, right? Most of the control heroes are, a lot of the stun heroes, Lara Croft and all of that. You need armor for those. I think magic defense is probably the most important pattern right now because everybody, Orion Gus is so popular. I think it's by far the best. Pet flag with chorus, permanent sub, cool. Yeah, I think the flags are really fun. I don't know that individual battles matter enough. Casual credit gaming. I don't know that individual battles matter enough for me to change them out, if that makes sense.